as I can see.
Bam. Yes, so Hairless here. Today we are back with another DIMASH reaction, and this is Stranger. Now, I received many recommendations for this, both for the Shine Super Brothers version and the New Wave version, but I did receive more for the Shine Super Brothers version, so that's what we'll be doing today. In the future, I can get around to the New Wave version, and I think it will be interesting to see a comparison between the two. Shine Super Brothers, from my understanding, is kind of like a reality TV show. This is another composition by Igor Krutoy, so our expectations of vocal boundaries will probably be tested. That's what we've seen before with Igor's compositions for DIMASH. I'm told that he sings in English in this one. Even though the lyrics are in English, I always like to look up the lyrics beforehand just so I'm aware of the overall message of the song. This one is about the unknown, and it will be the first time I've heard DIMASH sing in English. Let's get straight into it.
As I can see, you ground underneath my feet. Stranger in a stranger's land, you chance to know who I am. If I have the strength to begin again.
It's interesting. I assume that was the intro. There was a big pause before. Now it looks like a choir's coming in the background. It's very pensive so far, very mysterious. He's wearing a cloak, and so are the others around him. And I think this adds to that overall kind of mystery. In terms of harmony, so far we haven't seen anything fancy. We're in F minor, and we've only really seen two chords so far, F minor and B flat, with a brief move to C sharp and D sharp at the end of the intro. Overall, everything seems quite contained so far. His whole range, from what we've heard so far, is contained within one octave between those two E flats. I've learned with DIMASH, especially when he's singing compositions by Igor Krutoy, even though I've only seen a few, to expect things to become a bit more unconventional in terms of range, the stage show, the appearance, the harmonic structure of everything, having chords that we don't expect. So this is what I'm kind of expecting for the rest of this. Right, let's carry on just a bit before where we left off. I don't know that instrument.
Somewhere in my heart, in ancient times, I wonder, though these fathers I have climbed them on these hills.
Faces from my past, they hold in night and memories. Lives and lost are lost, feel them in the seas. New ground, far as I can see. New ground underneath my feet. Stranger in a stranger's land. New chance to know who I am. If I had the strength to begin again.
Okay, the cloak's come off. Just a few bits from that previous minute or so that we just heard. He's not used his head voice as falsetto yet. The last reaction we did was Ave Maria, where the whole thing is in his head voice. So I'm wondering if this might be one where he's just using his chest voice. That instrument. I don't know what that instrument is. It sounds like some kind of string instrument played with a bow. That's the kind of sound you get when a bow plays a string. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, it seems quite folky. Like it's what I imagine you might find in Eastern folk music, maybe. Also giving me these folky vibes, though, are the notes that are being played themselves. The bowed instrument is playing. So it's going like this. We're in the scale of F minor here. But it's not playing this note, it's playing this note instead. Why this is interesting is because F, that's the root of the key we're in, and the note that it's playing, B, instead of the B flat in the scale. F to B is what we call a tritone, which is a very interesting interval that we don't often hear in music. The tritone has quite a cool history. It used to be called Diabolus in Musica, which means the devil in music, and it's to do with the physics of it, but it just sounds quite unnatural when played together. But then straight afterwards, so we've got the, but then it goes to the B flat that we are expecting. So the harmonic foundation here seems quite free, a bit malleable. It's not very strict, which I don't know, maybe makes the music seem a bit more informal perhaps. And then we have this bit. That's Dimash going to a bottom C, which is the lowest I've ever heard Dimash go. It's a few notes below what a bass is typically expected to sing. So now, from the few performances I've seen of him, I've heard him go from that bottom C to a top E, which is the E above this off the keyboard. Then after that we get a key change. And this key change is to stress Dimash's change from the bottom bass register he was singing in now to the tenor register. What this key change means is that now Dimash's melody is going to be different. If we didn't change key, it would now be do do. But now we've had the key change, it's do do. So it's higher. Dimash can now demonstrate his tenor range much better, which leads up to this bit. That top note there, that's an A flat, which is, you know, upper tenor range. If we'd stayed in the previous key, he wouldn't be going anywhere near that high. All right, let's carry on. Cloaks off. Sorry, what's that? That's not English. Is that Italian? Ascolta la voce? Ascolta la voce? What's that? Listen to the voice? Alright, we'll go over a few points, then we'll get back to this and then carry on till the end. It looks like there's 1 minute left. He has a contrasting suit again. I mentioned this in my last reaction to Ave Maria, but that one, it was the blazer in itself that was contrasting white and black. Now it's his blazer that's white and his trousers are black. We actually have another key change at that point. This is actually the smallest key change we can have in a downwards direction as well. It goes 2. So it moves down by the smallest interval we can, which is a half step or a semitone. We see key changes of that interval a half step, but moving upwards quite a lot in music. It's usually quite uplifting. But we don't often see it moving downwards. That is quite solemn, almost ceremonial, I feel. And with the outfits of everyone in the cloaks, this red lights, there is quite a ceremonial feel to this. And then, of course, a Monteverdi trill or a goat's trill, as I learned from my reaction to Sinful Passion. Right now at this point, compared to the beginning, there's suddenly quite a lot to take in. Bam! We've had a key change. His outfit has changed. He's now doing an unconventional singing technique. And then after the trill, he leads into a run. And this run goes on for almost 20 seconds. It is really quite folky, I feel. And at the end of that run, the precision with which he hits each note individually, it's like a slide down, but instead of going, he's hitting individual notes. I'm going to play it back at half speed so we can hear that. That's nuts. I think from a musical perspective, what definitely makes this seem more folky is, again, the notes that he's singing here. So we're in A minor. You can hear there's a drone A at the bottom in the bass being played in the background. And the scale that he's singing in this run is as you would expect in A minor. In most modern music, if you're in a minor scale, as we are here, the 7th note, the last note of the scale, is usually raised, so it sounds like this. But he's not sharpening the 7th note. Instead of singing this, he's singing. I think it makes it seem a bit more mystical. Alright, let's go from this interesting part. That is an interesting one. Did not know what to expect there, and I thought that was so interesting. I mean, we heard, I guess, technically the lowest note I've heard him sing, even lower than the one I mentioned before, here. Which is technically, but down an octave, so that's technically like a bottom A. Previously it was the C that we'd heard, and now this is 3 notes below that. I mean, he's ridiculous. In less than 20 seconds, he's gone from the lowest note I've heard to the highest note that I've ever heard him sing. That's the top E, the one that I always say is just 1 note below the highest note of the Queen of the Night aria. So after that note, we have another key change. Now we're in F sharp minor, whereas at the beginning we started in F minor. So even though throughout the whole piece we've had multiple key changes, we're ending so close to where we started, but not quite there. I did find it interesting how quiet the choir was, like here for example. You know, we can barely hear them, but we can hear them just enough for there to be this intensity, whilst not taking anything away from Dimash. So kudos to the sound engineers on this one for sure. And then for his last note, the bass line is slowly moving up, so it's going dum. Dum, dum. I thought that it was going to keep going up all the way through the scale and he'll be holding on this final note. You know, that would have been like 40 seconds or something. My heartbeat started to increase, but it didn't. And I guess that proves a question that I know a lot of you are wondering. Is Dimash human? He is a human because he needs to breathe just like us. Wow, what a performance, what a spectacle. Very interesting, that one, very interesting. I'll be very interested to see how the new wave performance compares to that when I do eventually get round to that one. Let's leave that there. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.